Okay, and so I'm going to start recording this. So if you have anything that you want to review, anything you want to take a look at, please feel free to look at this recording later. And again, at the end, I will turn off the recording, and then you can ask any questions you would like, and I can stick around for a little bit longer. All right. So to start off with, we'll read our fancy little waiver, my abridged version. All right. So by participating in this class, I warrant that I am physically fit and have no medical condition which would prevent my full participation in the activities. I knowingly, voluntarily, and expressly waive any claim I may have against the studio, its owners, members, employees, and instructors, teachers, staff, interns, workshop presenters, independent contractors, blah, 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 for any claim that I may sustain as a result of participating in the activities. Basically saying you're not going to hurt yourself and then blame me. I will give a more concise version, and when we do start up regular classes, I do have these all in paper form, but not to worry about it. All right, so we're going to get started lying down onto our backs today. So however that works for your own body. So if you want to come down, full arms out, legs out, little Shavasana position, let that happen. Finding an opening up through the chest. If you'd like to keep the soles of the feet onto the mat, that takes a little bit of pressure off of the lower back. Feel free to do that. The arms can come out to the side, the hands can rest onto the belly. This is really a choose your own adventure as you are settling into your practice. And if you're feeling a little bit like you're a little bit tight in the hips, feel free to bring the soles of the feet together, knees falling open, finding our Supta Baddha Konasana to start. And just start taking those deep belly breaths, so all the way down to the belly. In my Kundalini yoga practices, my classes that I've been learning about, we focus really strongly on the breath. And so really allow that breath to fill up the belly. Picture it like a balloon, letting that belly billow out, paying particular attention to the navel as you inhale and exhale. Notice to see if you can keep the upper chest relaxed. And just let the breath come down to the belly. Oftentimes when we take these big, deep breaths, we find that the breath spreads up into the upper chest. And as we raise our chest just a little bit, we find a little bit of anxiety that comes up in that practice. Lengthening the breath all the way down to the bottom of the belly. Big, deep, full breaths. And then once you've established where the breath is going, you can gently release that big billowing breath. And just find the breath moving all the way down to the bottom of the lungs. All the way up to the top of the lungs that rest right underneath the collarbones. Deep inhales and exhales, noticing the full length of the breath. Just settling into the body, settling into your own space. As we slowly come into our practice today, gently bring to mind anything that you're holding on to from earlier in your day, earlier in your week, earlier in your year. Deeply breathe into those thoughts, notice what they are. Bring them to the front of your mind just for a moment. And then deep exhale, release, let it go. Breathe it out, make those as loud as you need those to be. One more time, deep inhale through the nose. Bringing to mind anything that you're bringing onto your mat, and deep exhale, release it all the way out, let it go. One more time, because we've been absent from this class for a bit. Deep inhale in, notice what you're bringing to your mat. Deep, deep exhale, release, let it go. Slowly bring to mind anything that's pulling you out of the space, anything that you're looking forward to. Deep inhale into those thoughts, into those moments. Deep inhale in. Deep exhale, let it go, release. Sigh it out. One more time, deep inhale in. Notice what's pulling you out of this space, what you're anticipating, even good things. Deep inhale, exhale, let it all go. And take 2 or 3 more deep inhales and exhales just in this moment. Notice if the mind can be in this space, not ahead, not behind, just here. Settling into your own space, into your own practice. And just a reminder that this is your practice. However you want to practice. If you want to spend half the time in child's pose, please feel free to do that if you need to. Very gently, and we're going to bring the knees up into the chest. So maybe if the knees are out, allow the hands to help the knees up. Drawing the knees up into the chest, holding on to both knees, maybe rocking back and forth from hip to hip. Maybe rolling out the ankles, flexing the feet, whatever feels good for your body today. Maybe bringing hands to the tops of the knees, rolling the lower back, noticing how that feels. And if you're rolling the knees, make sure you're doing both one way and then the other. Sometimes that's a really nice relaxation for the lower back. Deep inhales, deep exhales. Slowly bring the knees back into center. We're going to grab behind the knees, rock up to the toes, back to the head as many times as you would like to come up to an easy seated position. And if you're feeling playful, sometimes that takes a bit. Don't worry about that. Finding just an easy seated position. So maybe the heels stack in front. Maybe we cross one leg over onto the top of the other. Maybe we find full lotus, or if all of that is uncomfortable, sticking the legs out, rounding down through the hips. So maybe removing some flesh underneath the hip bones and just letting the legs rise out front. Hands come to heart center. Gently close the eyes. And allow yourself to feel the spine start to align. So dropping the tailbone down to the earth, let the shoulders come over the hips. Crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. Feel each fingertip pressed to each other. Noticing the strength behind the posture, the strength behind the hands pressing together. And as we move into our practice today, allowing ourselves to just feel our own strength, our own light, our own wisdom, turning that gaze inward. Letting that resonate with you any way that it needs to resonate with you for this practice. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, side all the way out, let it go. 2 more times, deep inhale in. Exhale, side out through the mouth, release the jaw, side out. Make it as loud as you need it to be. Last time, deep inhale in. Exhale, side out, release. Gently blink open the eyes. We're going to bring the hands down. So the fingertips are just going to barely rest down onto the earth, barely touching. Shoulder blades slide down the back, open up through that heart space. So we're going to find that heart shining today. So inhale, we're going to flip the hands, reach the arms all the way up towards the sky. Shoulder blades stay down the back, fingertips reach long. Active fingertips. I like to do spirit fingers if you're feeling it, just for the first one. Exhale, release the hands down. Inhale, flip the hands, reach the arms all the way up, shoulder blades stay down the back. At the top of that inhale, flip the hands. Exhale, releasing all the way down. Do this a couple more times with your own breath. If it feels comfortable, gently close the eyes. See if you can connect that breath and movement. word yoga means to yoke, which means to bring things together. So what we're doing in the most very literal sense is bringing our breath and our movement into harmony. Last time, deep inhale, deep exhale. Follow your own breath. Don't worry if you're not with me. My breath is different from your breath. And then gently blink open the eyes if necessary. Bring the hands down in front of the crossed legs or onto the legs, wherever they may be. Lengthen from the tailbone up to the crown of the head. And exhale, keeping that tailbone rounded down to the earth. We're going to slowly walk the hands out however far feels comfortable. So release the head down, maybe shake out the neck, shake out the spine. Sometimes this is our first chance to kind of see how the spine is feeling today. So let yourself find any little movements that feel good. So maybe you want to shake out the neck. Maybe you're finding that you need a little bit of stillness. Let that stillness come into the body. Just because I offer movement, because sometimes we think that we need to be still and stagnant in these poses. Allow yourself that movement if the body calls for it. Listen to that inner body, that inner voice, that inner light. Two more deep inhales and exhales. And this does not have to be a deep pose. Literally, the hands can really be right in front of the crossed legs and you'll be just fine. Slowly walk the hands back towards the hips. We're going to bring the hands behind us. So fingertips are facing the front of the mat. Start to lean back onto the hands, pressing the hips forward. Pull the shoulder blades back, opening up through that heart space. Maybe we come back onto flat palms if that feels comfortable, not allowing ourselves to feel too much anxiety as we open up through the upper chest. Press the hips forward. And you can drop the head back, but we don't want to collapse the neck. So as we don't want to collapse the neck like this because we have no prana, no breath coming into the body. So grounding down through the hips, reaching up through the crown of the head, we're arcing the head back, leaving lots of room for that prana, that breath to flow. Slowly come back up. We're going to come over onto the hands and knees, however you want to do that. So you can roll over the knees if that feels comfortable. Or you can swing the feet out to one side, however that's going to work for you today. Wrists right underneath the shoulders, knees right underneath the hips, untucking the feet. Press all 10 toes down into the mat. Find that grounding through the upper and the lower body. Breathe your air all the way out. On a full deep inhale, allow the belly to fall into the earth, open up through the chest, pull the shoulder blades back. Inhale, and on your exhale, drop the tailbone down, drop the head down, curling the spine up towards the sky. Inhale, drop down into the belly, reach the crown of the head up, opening up through the chest, pull the shoulder blades back, heart shining. Exhale, tuck it all underneath. Just a couple more times with your own breath. Inhaling to open and exhaling to tuck. Find your own rhythm. See if you can connect that breath and movement. So inhaling to open, exhaling to curl. And back, forth, finding that flow of the body, that flow of the movement, that flow of the breath, bringing that all into harmony as you turn that gaze inward. We always talk about looking inside and how that should be so easy. And I completely recognize that sometimes that's not possible. Just take it to the extent that you need to take that gaze inward today. One more round, deep inhale, deep exhale, and then slowly coming back to that neutral spine. We're going to gently stretch back that right leg, flexing that right foot. So right toes are pointed down towards the earth. We're going to take that right foot across the left, plant those right toes down onto the earth. press into the heel and gaze out over that left shoulder. So I'll do this opposite so you guys can see. So pressing the ball of that right foot down onto the earth, and this does not have to be as far off of the mat as I have it. You can really have it right onto the edge of the mat, and you're going to get just as much benefit. See if you can find any more space on that right side. So anywhere from the heel all the way up to the crown of the head, maybe we find a little bit more room in the rib cage today. Deep inhale, exhale all the way out, lift that right leg, reaching that back towards the back of the mat. Drop that right knee down. Rinse this out. Inhale, drop down into the belly, reach the crown of the head up. Cow pose. Exhale, tucking it all underneath your head. Coming back to that neutral spine. Doing this on the other side. So keeping back that left foot, left toes facing down towards the earth. Lengthen from the crown of the head. Feel the length in the leg first, and then take that left foot across the right. Plant the ball of that left foot down onto the earth, press back into the heel, gaze out over the right shoulder. And again, see where you can find a little bit more space today. Maybe that space is in the heel, maybe that space is in the rib cage. Maybe we find it in the hips or in the spine. Take that gaze inward to where you need to find that today. Deep inhale. Exhale all the way out slowly. Lift that left leg with control, reaching it back towards the back of the mat. Drop that left knee down. Inhale, drop down into the belly, reach the crown of the head up. Exhale, tuck the toes, press in with the hands, reach the hips up and back, coming to our very first down dog. Take what movement you need to take. So if you need to find some stillness, let that stillness happen. If you need to bend into the knees super deep, if you need to shake out the hips, if you like to lift one leg up into the air and then the other, let that happen. Take that movement. Moving all my stuff so I don't knock anything over in the middle of class. Just notice what that space holds for you. Sometimes bending the knees super deep can feel really good, and pressing the chest back towards the thighs. See what that feels like. Explore the space. And take that gaze inward, wherever that needs to be for your body today. And if at any point in time, like I said, if you at any point in time need child's pose, feel free to drop down into child's pose. If you don't know what that is, knees come to the outside edge of the mat, big toes come together, snake the hips back, reach the arms long. One more breath in our down dog. Slowly rise up onto the toes, bend the knees, make your way up to the top of the mat. However you want to do that, itty bitty baby steps, big steps, hop, skipping, jumping, whatever feels good. Feet come right underneath the hips, second toes pointed forward. Release the hands, release the head down. Take a moment in this nice forward bend. So pull the navel in towards the spine, wiggle it out if you need to. You can grab opposite elbows. That brings a little bit more weight to the front of the body. Bring the weight back into the heels. And slowly release the hands, and we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. So stacking the spine as we come up. Hips start to come back underneath the spine, reaching the arms up. Deep inhale, press the hands together overhead. Exhale, draw that energy down to heart center. Gently close the eyes. So feet are right underneath the hips, giving ourselves a nice space of support. Hands come to heart center. You can bring the thumb knuckles to the sternum. Feel the crown of the head reaching long, and connect with that breath again, bringing it down to the belly. So especially in our current life world that we live in, a lot of anxiety can come up. There's so many unknowns at this point in time. So take the nervous system response out of it. Drop that breath out of the chest, down to the belly. Let yourself settle. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, side all the way out, let it go. you want to sigh with me, feel free to. Deep inhale in. Exhale, sigh it all the way out. Gently blink open the eyes. Inhale, sweep the arms out. Now, big inhale, press the hands together, keeping the shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, hinge forward, reaching all the way down to the earth. Inhale, find your halfway lift. So draw your hands up to the shins, the knees, the thighs, wherever the legs can be straight. Press into the legs, lengthen through the crown of the head. The head is an extension of the spine, so open the back of the neck up towards the ceiling. Let the chin tuck down just slightly. Find that length. Deep inhale. Exhale, release the hands, release the arms all the way down. On your inhale, unhinge at the waist. So ride the breath all the way up. It's like a reverse swan dive. Press the hands together overhead. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. So we're going to do this 2 more times with your own breath. Don't worry if you're not with me. Inhaling to reach up. Exhale, fold forward all the way down. Inhale, find your halfway lift, whatever that looks like. If the hands reach the earth, you can keep the fingertips down onto the mat. Exhale to release all the way down. Inhale, unhinge at the waist, reach the arms up, ride the breath. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. One more time with your own breath. Inhaling up. Exhale to flow forward. Inhale, find that halfway lift. Exhale to release all the way down. On your breath, ride the breath up, unhinge, reaching up, lengthening. Exhale, draw the hands down to heart center. Take 2 deep inhales and exhales, closing the eyes if that feels comfortable. Rounding yourself down, all 4 corners of the feet find the earth. Gently blink open the eyes. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Press the hands together overhead. Exhale, fold forward all the way down to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to release all the way down. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step both feet back to the back of the mat. Come to your favorite pose in the whole wide world, plank. Those of you who missed my classes, yay, plank. Wrists right underneath the shoulders, heels pressing back towards the back of the mat. If you need to drop the knees down, want to drop the knees down, let that happen. But we want you to lengthen from the knees up to the crown of the head. So really engage through the abdominals if you're choosing that option. You're gonna find your body shaking. It's okay. Deep inhale. Exhale, drop the knees down. Lengthen from the knees up to the crown of the head. The shoulders are gonna come over the wrist just a little bit. We're gonna point the elbows back towards the back of the mat. One straight line all the way down. Untuck the toes, hands come right underneath the shoulders. Elbows press to the side, toes press into the mat. Inhale, find your baby cobra. Maybe even lifting the hands, make sure that the weight is just in the back, in the shoulder blades, in the spine. Exhale to release all the way down. One more time, inhaling, either finding that baby cobra or finding a deeper back bend, whatever feels good for you today. Exhale all the way down. Tuck the toes, press into the hands, reach the hips up and back, finding your down dog. And readjusting where you need to. So there's 2 different schools of thought for plank and down dog. One is that when you are in plank, your wrists are right underneath your shoulders, and as you press to down dog, that length remains the same. I've been taught both ways, and I think it's really up to your own preference. Ideally, you should find that nice V. If you need to move your feet in just a little bit, let that happen. This is your practice. One more deep inhale. Exhale all the way out. Slowly rise up onto the toes, bend the knees, make your way up to the top of the mat. Big steps, baby steps, however that works for you. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to release all the way down. Ground down through the feet, sweep the arms out. Now big inhale, press the hands together overhead. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, we're going to drop the left arm down, reach up and over with the right. So press down into that right foot, pressing the right hip out. Really finding a nice stretch on this side of the body. So we're going to pay attention to all the corners of the body today, keeping that right shoulder blade down the back. So if you find that right shoulder is right up into the ear, see if you can slide it down just a little bit. Deep inhale. Exhale all the way out. Inhale, sweep the arms back up. Other side, exhale, drop that right arm down, reach up and over with the left. That left hip is going to kick out. See if you can bring more weight into that left foot rather than the right. Finding a nice side stretch through the side of the body. This does not have to be as deep as I'm doing it. It can really be just right up. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, hands come down, heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, flow forward all the way down to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to release all the way down. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step our feet back to our favorite pose in the whole wide world plank. Finding wrists right underneath the shoulders, heels pressing back towards the back of the mat. Taking what space you need to. So if you are having problems with your wrists, the whole hand presses down into the mat. So the ball of the hand, each fingertip, and if you have problems, especially if you're trying all of that, try to bring the weight into the first and the thumb. Press that down into the earth. That should take some of the pressure off of the wrists. I have really skinny chicken wrists, and I used to have a lot of problems with that before I figured out the hand position. One more deep inhale. Exhale, drop the knees down, lengthen from the knees up to the crown of the head. Elbows point back towards the back of the mat, down and forward, all the way down onto the belly. Untuck the toes, hands come right underneath the shoulders. Find your back bend. So maybe a baby cobra, maybe a full cobra, maybe popping up into full up dog. Deep inhale. Exhale all the way down. Tuck the toes, pressing with the hands, reach the hips up and back, finding your down dog. Making any movements again that you need to in this space. And if this space is a good place for child's pose for you, take a moment. One more deep inhale. Exhale all the way out. Rise up onto the toes. Bend the knees. Make your way up to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to release all the way down. Ground down through the feet. Sweep the arms out and up. Big inhale. Press the hands together overhead. Exhale. Hands come down to heart center. Feet right underneath the hips. Second toe pointed forward. Find the hands at heart center. Close the eyes. Reconnect with that breath. Find the balance through the body. Notice the heat. So part of the Vinyasa Flow tradition is to build this heat within the body. Muscles start to warm up. Breath starts to get a little bit more intense. Let yourself be where you need to be today. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it all the way out. Let it go. Gently blink over the eyes. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Press the hands together overhead. Exhale, fold forward all the way down to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to release all the way down. Bend the knees, plant the hands, just step the right foot back to the back of the mat. So we're going to stay up into our lunge, keeping our high lunge, keeping that knee lifted. So we're going to bring the hands to the knees, or to that front knee. Open up. If this is really difficult for you, feel free to drop that back knee down. You're going to still find this nice strength, this nice opening for the upper body. It's a little bit more active with that back knee lifted. Deep inhale. Exhale, release the hands down to the earth. Now, readjust yourself, find that balance. We're going to rise all the way up to our crescent for you. So rising all the way up, arms reach overhead, hips pressing forward. So we don't have the hips pressing back, that puts strain on the lower back. You want to line up the shoulders over the hips, sinking down to the earth. Arms reach high, active fingertips, maybe spirit fingers if you're feeling it. Deep inhale. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. So we're gonna find a little bit of flow with our breath here. Inhale, straighten through that front leg, reaching the arms high. Exhale, hands come down to heart center, sinking down. So we really want this up and down rather than forward and back. Inhale, reaching high. Straightening, exhale, dropping down. One more time. Inhale, straightening, reaching, lifting. Exhale, coming back down. Inhale, reach the arms high, and on our exhale, we're gonna drop down that back heel, opening up, finding our warrior two. So ideally, the front heel is gonna line up with the back arch. If that doesn't happen, don't worry about it. That back foot should be at either perpendicular to the side of the mat, or that back heel is gonna press towards the back of the mat, gonna go a 45-degree angle. Arms reach long, and again, shoulders are right over the hips, pressing down into the earth. Deep inhale. Exhale, drop that back right hand down, flip that left hand, reach that left arm up into the sky, finding our reverse warrior. No pressure onto that back leg. So if you're pressing down into that back leg, back off a little bit. Deep inhales, deep exhales. See if you can find a little bit more room on that left side of the body as we open up. Deep inhale. Exhale, bring the arms back. We're going to start to reach forward to those left fingertips as far as physically possible. Left elbow comes down to the left knee. Sweep that right arm along the horizon, up and over the head. Keeping that shoulder blade down the back. That's part of the reason we sweep the arm. Lengthen from that back right heel all the way up to those right fingertips. You can take a deeper modification if you feel like it. Bringing that left hand down to the ground. You can drop the right arm down behind the back, reaching for that left thigh, or you can find full bind if something is feeling that that's good for you today. Take your space. This is your practice. If you need less movement, if you need more movement, it's all for you. Take that gaze inward of where you are struggling with this practice. Round down through the feet, sweep the arms back up. Finding our warrior two. Deep inhale, exhale, windmill the hands down, framing that front foot. Step both feet back to the back of the mat, either coming straight up into down dog or finding a flow. Where you come into plank, drop down into low push-up or onto the belly, finding your back bend and then flowing to down dog. Whatever feels good for you, take that space. We're saying, screw it, I need some child's pose, and taking that instead. All for you. Deep inhales, deep exhales, all the way out. Let that breath flow through the body. Take that gaze where it needs to go. Is the mind going towards the body? Is it going towards the breath? Is it going towards the monkey mind thoughts? I have lots and lots of monkeys. And that's just what we work with. One more deep inhale. Exhale all the way out. Slowly rise up onto the toes, bend the knees, make your way up to the top of the mat, however that feels good for you today. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to release all the way down. Ground down through the feet. Inhale, unhinge at the waist, reach the arms out. Now big inhale, press the hands together overhead. And exhale, swan diving forward all the way back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to release all the way down. Bend the knees, plant the hands, just step the left foot back to the back of the mat. Finding this on the other side. So staying up into our lunge here. Hands can come up to the knees. And don't worry if you fall over. I fall over a lot. And that's just what we do. Just a gentle reminder, these are all the things we used to do when we were kids. And we would have fun and we're like, how does my body look like this? Until we were told that we really shouldn't be doing this stuff in public, which is, if you need to drop that back knee down, opening up, let that happen. Just finding that length through the chest, length through the breath. Deep inhale, Exhale, release the hands down. Readjusting for a moment, finding your crescent warrior. Reaching all the way up. So again, shoulders are right over the hips. We don't want to press those hips back. We want to pull those hips forward, aligning the body right under shoulders over the hips, supporting that lower back, supporting our body. Deep inhale. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. We're going to find that flow. Inhale, straightening to the front leg, reaching a thigh. Exhale, sinking down. And again, find not a forward and back motion, but an up and down motion. Inhale, reaching high. Exhale, sinking down. One more time. Inhale, reaching high. Exhale, falling down. Inhale, reach the arms high, and exhale, opening up, finding our warrior two. And again, readjusting where you need to. Even though we are flowing, this does not have to be absolutely perfect when you land. Deep inhale. So that front knee should be right over the ankle, finding that strength and support, or slightly behind the ankle. Deep inhale. Exhale, drop that back left hand down, super, super light onto that back leg. Flip the right hand, reach that right arm up into the sky. Find length all the way through the body. Take that gaze inward. Where are you feeling this? Where are you finding the most struggle? Is it a physical thing? Is it a mental thing? Is it an emotional thing? Sometimes I show up for class and I do not want to be there. It happens. Notice that, embrace it, and analyze it. Find out why you're feeling that way. Look at those feelings, look at those inner thoughts. Deep inhale. Exhale, bring the arms back. We're gonna find our extended side angle. So reaching for those right fingertips as far as it's possible. Right elbow comes down to the right knee. Sweep that left arm along the thighs and up and over the head. So if you're here in Madison, we have lots and lots of lakes. I always picture myself trailing my fingertips along the top of the lake and up and over the head. Find that length, find any variation. This does not have to be the same as on the other side. Honor each side as you're coming into it. So maybe on this side, you want to drop the arm down. Maybe that feels better. Maybe on this side, you want to bring the hand down to you. Maybe you want to find a full bind. Maybe you're like, this is where I just feel like hanging out today. Let it happen where it needs to happen. This is your practice. I can guide you through whatever I have planned. That does not mean it's the best for your body today or the best for your space. Honor where you are. Slowly ground down through both feet. Slowly sweep up, finding our warrior two. Windmill the hands down to the earth. Step both feet back to the back of the mat. Find your flow. Find your movement. Find child's pose. Find whatever feels good for your body. This is your space. We're creating our own space, our own movement, our own inner thoughts. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, bring the knees down to the mat, finding our child's pose. So knees come to the outside edge of the mat. Big toes come together, sink the hips back, reach the arms long. Release the upper body. So as you are coming into your practice, if the head does not comfortably reach the mat, you can cross arms, bring the forehead down to the crossed arms. If you have a blanket or a block, you can put that underneath the forehead. Sometimes that feels great. And traditionally, we keep the knees apart because it lets the belly really relax and soften here. But if you feel like keeping the knees together, or if you have a different variation that you like, please honor that. Deep inhale through the nose. Deep exhale all the way out. Slowly lift the head. We're going to walk the hands all the way over to the right side. Bring the hands out. So bringing the left hand on top of the right, finding a long side stretch in our child's pose. And if the forehead does not reach the earth, that's perfectly fine. With our side stretch, what you can do is you can rest the forehead down onto that right arm. You can move that blanket or the block and bring that underneath the forehead over here as well. And not worrying about where you are. Take that gaze inward and see if you can find a little bit more space. Lift the head, walk the hands all the way over to the left side and find this on the other side. So right hand comes on top of the left. Sink the hips back, reach the arms long. And again, see if you can find a little bit more space on that side of the body. Take that gaze inward. Notice where the mind goes. So maybe the mind goes to the breath. You're feeling those deep inhales and exhales all the way down to the belly. Maybe your mind is in a different part of your body. Maybe it's in the hips or the heels or the shoulders. Maybe those thoughts go straight to your emotions and to your to-do lists and to your things that you have coming up. Not judging the mind, not judging your practice, just noticing, taking that step back and being a witness to your mind. Deep inhales, deep exhales all the way out. Slowly lift the head, walk the hands back towards center, sink back into one nice juicy child's pose just for a moment. Take that space. Slowly come up onto the hands and knees. Coming into our down dog just to transition up. So tuck the toes, pressing with the hands, reach the hips up and back. Find your down dog, maybe making a moment or two. Take some movement, take some breath. And then rise up onto the toes, bend the knees, make your way up to the top of the mat. However that feels good for you today. So feet right underneath the hips. Inhale, sweep the arms out, not unhinging, reaching, lifting. Hands come down to heart center. Gently close the eyes and find that breath again. So draw the breath all the way down to the belly. Keeping the upper chest relaxed. Finding all four corners of the feet planted down to the earth. Finding your space here. Find the tailbone resting down into the earth, crown of the head reaching up. One more deep inhale and exhale all the way out. Gently blink open the eyes. So we're going to find a little bit of a balancing pose. So if you like to grab a wall, literally or figuratively, or if you like to grab a chair or something else, sometimes a nice piece of furniture will be your best friend here. Or just try and see where you are today. Balance is one of the first things to go as we grow older. So it's important to test it and find that space for yourself. So all four corners plant down to the earth. We're going to bring all of the weight into the left standing leg, bending that right knee. Hands come to heart center. Deep inhale. Exhale all the way out. That left foot sinks down into the earth. On your inhale, draw that right knee up into the chest, holding on with both hands. Flex strongly through both feet. Lengthen through the crown of the head. See if that helped your balance a little bit. If this is challenging enough for you today, please stay right here. If you'd like to try something different, please feel free to drop that left arm down. Let that right knee open up to the side. If you'd like to find a little bit different, other options include grabbing behind the knee, trying to straighten that leg a little bit. Maybe that works, maybe it doesn't. You can also grab the big toe with your 2 peace fingers on that right hand, opening up. You're like, that will never freaking happen. It took me 10 years to do this, literally. So don't worry if that is not something that happens today. Deep inhale. Exhale all the way out. One more deep inhale. Exhale, bring that knee back towards center. We're gonna kick out those right toes towards the front of the room. Now the toes can be 2 inches off the mat. They can be all the way up. Hands can come out to the side. They can come to heart center. They can rise up towards the sky, whatever feels good for your body today. One more deep inhale. Exhale with control. Bring both feet down. Shake out the legs, shake out the arms. So important in a balance practice to find yourself controlling how you come out of it. And don't worry if it doesn't happen right away. I fall out a lot. But do what you can. Hands come back to heart center, gently close the eyes. Find out 4 corners of the feet down to the earth again. And if at some point, and I forgot to mention this, if at any point you don't want to close the eyes and that feels uncomfortable for you, just keep the gaze soft, not taking in any information. Maybe gaze down to the tip of the nose, but allowing yourself to keep that gaze inward towards yourself. Notice the breath. Whenever we challenge ourselves, that breath becomes shorter. We find anxiety. It pulls up into the upper chest. So draw that breath back down again, all the way down to the belly. Find yourself becoming more grounded and find that space. Gently blink open the eyes. We're going to bring all the way into that right standing leg, bending the left knee. So once again, inhaling, lengthening from that right heel all the way up to the crown of the head. Exhale all the way out. Sinking down just a little bit lower. Inhale, bring that left knee up into the chest, holding on with both hands. And this is going to probably be completely different than the other side. So no judgment. We might look symmetrical. We are not symmetrical human beings. If this feels great, stay right here. If you would like to find a little bit different, feel free to open that right arm out to the side. The left knee comes out to the side. Taking any variations. You want to try straightening the leg. Grab underneath the leg. You still find that nice balance. And then see about straightening. The balance in the standing leg is going to shift slightly. So notice how that feels. So as you can see, my torso is coming over a little bit more to the side as the leg comes out. That's just a balancing thing. It's physics. I'm a science and math geek, so this is what I do. If you want to grab hold of the big toes, bring the toes out to the side. If that is something that's in your practice, let that happen. One more deep inhale, one more deep exhale. Slowly bring that knee towards the center, kick that foot out towards the front of the mat, let the arms come out, up, wherever feels good. One more deep inhale. Exhale with control, bring both feet down, shake out the legs, shake out the arms. Hands come back to heart center. Close the eyes and reconnect with the breath. Notice how it's moved up into the chest. Whenever we challenge ourselves physically, mentally, our breath gets shorter. So bring that breath all the way down into the belly. Lengthening and steadying ourselves. Gently blink open the eyes. Inhale, sweep the arms Not big inhale, press the hands together overhead. Exhale, fold forward all the way down to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to release all the way down. Bring the feet out to the outside edge of the mat. Take a nice, juicy forward bend. Arms can release down to the mat. You can grab opposite elbows. We did this a little bit earlier with the feet in the middle of the mat. Same thing. Bring the weight back into the heels, but you can cross the arms. Bring more weight into the front of the body. If you notice that your lower back is where it needs it the most and you're feeling it mostly in the legs, feel free to bend the knees super deep. You can actually bring the chest down onto the thighs. That's going to release more for the lower back. Take that gaze inward of your body, your space, what this needs to be for you. My practice is not going to be your practice. Your neighbor's is not going to be your practice. Nobody has a practice like yours. And that is beautiful. Very gently release the arms, straighten through the legs. We're going to roll up one vertebra at a time all the way up towards the sky. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, open the palms up towards the front of the class. The feet are going to be open to the sides. You can tilt the toes outwards towards the edge of the mat, finding our star pose. Opening up through the heart. Shoulder blades come down the back. Close the eyes and breathe into your heart space. There's a Harvard study done and plenty of TED Talks about how taking a power pose increases your ability to be more awesome. Take that moment of awesomeness for yourself. Be in your body, be in your space. Take that gaze inward. Deep inhale. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. We're going to bring the feet back underneath the hips again. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward all the way down to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to release all the way down. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step both feet back to the back of the mat, coming to plank for about 2 seconds. And then we're going to drop that right knee down, finding our gate pose. So planting that left foot down onto the earth. Right hand comes right underneath that right shoulder, supporting ourselves. Inhale, that left arm comes up. Opening up through the hip, opening up through the shoulders. If you'd like to take a full side plank, please feel free to do so. But if you do, make sure that you're readjusting if need be so that that wrist is right underneath the shoulder. Finding that alignment in the body. Deep inhale. Exhale all the way out. Hands and knees come down. Taking a moment, child's pose. Knees come to the outside edge of the mat. Big toes come together. Stick the hips back. Reach the arms long. Forehead rests down into the earth. Let the belly soften. Finding whatever you need for your space in this moment. Slowly make your way back up into your hands and knees. We're going to step that right foot back to the back of the mat, finding our gate pose on this side. So left wrist comes right underneath the left shoulder. Plant that left foot down. Right knee, or left knees on the mat, planting the right foot down. Reaching that left or that right arm up towards the sky, finding our gate pose on this side. And again, side plank is always an option for you if that feels good. Notice what you need to notice. So as you take that gaze inward, are you noticing this in the physical body, in the emotional body? Inhale. Exhale. Both hands come down, sinking down into child's pose. Just one more time. And slowly coming up onto hands and knees. We're going to come over onto our backs. Actually, we're going to come into a seated position first. So either rolling over the knees or swinging the feet out to one side. We're going to plant the feet down onto the earth. And coming back, so reaching the arms forward, we're going to slowly coming back onto our backs. See if you can find a straight line from the tailbone up to the crown of the head as you slowly come back. Awesome. Feet come to the outside edge of the mat. Let the knees windshield wiper back and forth, letting go of any tension in the lower back as we come into our final relaxation. We're going to do one or two little tiny poses on our back, and then we're going to come into a nice yoga nidra. All right, slowly bring the knees back up. We're going to draw the knees into the chest, taking hold of the knees, maybe rocking back and forth, whatever feels good for you today. We're going to find our happy baby. So bring the knees to the outside edge of the rib cage. This is a great opportunity. If you have a certain practice that you need for your practice today, a certain pose, please feel free to take this time to do that. So for our happy baby, for those who want to do it, knees come to the outside edge of the mat, reach through the legs, grab the outside edge of the feet, and open the soles of the feet up so that the ankles are over the knees. Now, if this is difficult, you can always grab the outside of the calves. We want the arms on the outside of the body, really opening up and pulling. I see a lot of people grab over the tops of their feet to grab the outside edge of their feet and really want it on the outside, pulling down and elongating. So either grabbing the outside edges of the feet or grabbing the ankles or the calves on the outside. And finding either movement or stillness. I like finding a happy baby. Rocking back and forth, bringing one knee down to the earth and then the other, and occasionally trying to see if I will ever get both down at the same time, which I probably won't ever do. Finding that space. If you are doing something, another pose that requires two sides, please feel free to switch sides. Happy baby, about 3 or 4 more breaths. Just noticing that opening up through the hips. And if the legs are fairly straight here, don't worry about that. Just grab the outside edge of the legs. We all have our different flexibility. We all have our different strengths. All right, slowly we're going to come out of this, so let the knees come back into center. We're going to drop the soles of the feet down onto the mat, and we're going to let the knees fall open, bringing the soles of the feet together, coming into our Supta Baddha Konasana. Bringing the right hand to the belly, the left hand up to the heart. Let the shoulder blades sink down into the earth. And you can make this more intense or less intense, depending on how you want to do this. So for a more intense, those heels come right in towards the tailbone. You can see that. For less intense, make this a wider diamond. And that's going to make this less intense on your lower back and less intense on your hips. Honor where you are in your space. Gently close the eyes, let the breath flow through the body. Right hand comes to the belly, left hand comes up to the heart. Feel that right hand lifting and lowering with breath. One more deep inhale. Exhale all the way out. Let the hands help the knees up into the chest. Drawing the forehead up towards the knees, coming to a tight, tight little ball. Deep inhale. And on your exhale, let the legs go, let the arms go, stretch the whole body out. Finding all of that energy that we've created in our body from the fingertips down to the toes. Deep inhale. And on your exhale, keeping this extended position, let the hands relax, let the wrists relax, let the shoulders go, let everything release down, all the way down to the toes. Let the earth support you through every inch of the body. And then slowly, when you're ready, finding your way into your Shavasana. So for our traditional Shavasana, the arms come out about a foot away from the hips. Let the palms fall open into a receiving gesture. Let the feet come out to the outside edges of the mat. Let the feet fall open. Take up as much room as you would like today. And we are going to be doing a guided meditation for the end of our class. So please feel free to grab a blanket. I have these lovely Mexican blankets that half I got from my dad and half I got from a vendor that happened to have the same kind. I always like to tuck myself in when I'm doing yoga for myself or for a private class that I'm doing. So feel free to tuck yourself in, make yourself as cozy as you would like, put on socks, put on a sweater. If you have an I give up robe like I do, please feel free to put that on. And we'll start in just a moment. So letting yourself get comfortable and relaxed. Finding that full Shavasana relaxation for your practice. And we'll slowly start to begin. Gently closing the eyes, let the face muscles relax completely. Let the throat soften. Let the heart open. Let the shoulder blades sink down into the mat. And just for a moment or two, let everything go. One of my favorite practices, my kids call it the little blue dot. When we find this little blue dot, this bright blue light moving all the way through the body, and every point that that little blue light touches relaxes and releases completely. So we start up at the third eye, so middle of the forehead, starting there and visualizing this bright blue light, the brightest, bluest light you can possibly think of. And that bright blue light spreads across the forehead, out to the temples, down the bridge of the nose. And every place that that blue light touches relaxes and releases. And that bright blue light is going to move down from your third eye, moving down to the tip of your nose. That bright blue light, finding it resting on the tip of your lips next. Letting that relaxation spread all along the jaw, all along the ears. And then slowly allowing that bright blue light to come down to the throat center, opening and expanding. Let that bright blue light come down to your heart center. Letting that relaxation and light spread all the way across your collarbones, over the tops of your shoulders, resting deeper and deeper into the mat. Slowly allow that bright blue light to come down to the right shoulder. Draw that bright blue light down to your right elbow, down to your right wrist, down to the tip of your right thumb, to the tip of your right first finger, to the tip of your right middle finger, to the tip of your right ring finger, to the tip of your right pinky finger. And then letting that bright blue light rest into the palm just for a moment, spreading that relaxation and light and relaxation all the way through the fingertips. And then slowly allowing that bright blue light to come back up to the right wrist, back to the right elbow, back to the right shoulder. And then finally, once again, coming to your heart center, letting that bright blue light, the brightest, bluest light you've ever seen in your life, and then that bright blue light comes to your left shoulder. And we slowly draw it down to the left elbow, to the left wrist, to the tip of the left thumb, to the tip of the left first finger, to the tip of the left middle finger, to the tip of the left ring finger, to the tip of the left pinky finger. And then letting that bright blue ball of light settle into the left palm, letting that bright blue light move through all the different fingertips. And then we slowly draw that bright blue light back to the left wrist, to the left elbow, to the left shoulder, and back to our heart center. Let that bright blue light flow down to your navel center, letting that relaxation and release come all the way through the rib cage, all through the lower back. And slowly bringing that bright blue, beautiful light to the right hip. And then slowly drawing it down to the right knee, to the right ankle, and then moving along the top of the foot, moving to each toe one by one, just like the hand. So that bright blue light is going to settle on the tip the right big toe, the tip of the right first toe, the tip of the right middle toe, the tip of the right fourth toe, and the tip of the right pinky toe. And then that bright blue light, let it flow all the way along the sole of the right foot, coming up the Achilles tendon and resting once again at the right ankle. Draw that bright blue light back up to the right knee, and then slowly drawing it back to the right hip, back to the navel center. Let that bright blue light be drawn to the left side, finding that left hip, releasing and relaxing. Let that bright blue light draw down to the left knee, the left ankle, and then moving along the top of that left foot all the way to the toes. Resting first at the tip of the left big toe, moving to the tip of the left first toe, to the tip of the left middle toe, the tip of the left fourth toe, to the tip of the left pinky toe. And then letting that bright blue, relaxing, releasing light flow along the bottom of that left sole of the foot, up the Achilles tendon, resting once again at the left ankle. Draw that bright blue light back to the left knee, back to the left hip, resting once again on our navel center. Let that bright blue light find its way, drawing up to your heart center, drawing up to your throat center, drawing up to the tip of your lips, the tip of the nose, resting first at the right eye socket and then the left. And then its final stop, we draw that bright blue, relaxing light back to our third eye, middle of the forehead. Taking a moment to appreciate and notice every spot in the body that we've released. Gently start to wiggle the fingers and toes, starting to wake up, and then making your way over onto one side, right or left, whichever feels more comfortable for you today. Taking a moment for gratitude and realizing that gratitude is whatever we happen to be grateful for at that moment. We can be grateful for socks. You can be grateful for the whole world. It can be as big or small as you need that gratitude to be in this moment. Using the strength of your arms, gently press yourself up into an easy seated position, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe keeping the eyes closed for a couple moments more, keeping that gaze inward, keeping ourselves grounded. And then once you come up, draw the hands to heart center, pressing the fingertips together, honoring your own journey, your own space today, whatever that needs to be for you. And we'll end our class with 3 unifying breaths. So breathe your air all the way out. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it all the way out, let it go. Make those loud if you need those to be. Deep inhale in. Exhale, let it go. Last time, deepest breath ever. Exhale, release. As we leave our mats today, keeping that gaze inward of where our journey needs to be, what we need for our moments, and honor wherever we happen to be in our journey, in our life, in our mental state. You are exactly where you need to be. Thank you so much for practicing with me today and with each other. Namaste. And thank you so much for joining me. If you do feel, we went a little bit over and I'm really, really sorry. Let me turn off the recording real quick.